Well, it's so sad that we are here once again, and I'm happy to say, like you rightly said, the MOU was signed under my ministry. I became the Minister of Interior. I used the Peace Council to get them because, you see, we are, I'm sorry to say, for lack of better, we seem to be pretending as people. We don't even try to go and find out what is the genesis of all this. Okay. I mean, tell them, I sent you what I sent you. We had colonial masters who came for a mission. It was to colonize us and exploit our resources. And along that,
he's talking about the 1878
they started an education unit.
He shared with
They started trying to educate us. Then churches were forming their schools. They were having challenges. And let me say here, go check the record. And I say all these schools, they should be sincere. Because you see, we are talking about ethics and morality. And that is the center of the church and the mosques. They were having challenges running the schools. None. Go and check the record. Not a single faith school, whether Muslim or Christian, was forcibly taken by government. There's no one. Each of them had to apply to join. Each of them. Not one was coerced into handing it over to government. No. All of them had to apply. And in 1887, we had this ordinance, that's Cap 67. That says that, well, we don't have a problem if you want to government funding, but these are the conditions. Will you accept? We'll finance you. You can't accept? Run it as your private entity. And each of them that you see today that are so huge, accepted. And that was the condition under which the colonial masters, and I mean, I sent you that, I mean, and Section 7, and I'm sure those ordinances are there for everybody to go and cross-check. Section 7 of the Education Ordinance of 1887, that's Cap 67, articulated the following. Direct religious teaching shall not form part of the instruction to be given in any government school. Section 8 states, assisted schools shall, on being allowed by the Education Board or Board of Education, be enabled to receive aid from the public funds of the colony on the following condition. So you see, the first one is talking about government schools. Yeah. The second one is talking about assisted schools. Right. That the school be open to children without distinction of religion or race. And that's what we continue to practice up to today. That's why the school selection selects you and puts you anywhere. It doesn't allow you to say that, I won't go to this school because it's a Muslim school. I won't go to this school because it's a Christian school. Because of the inclusivity. And assisted school means faith-based. That school not being a government school, receiving financial assistance from the government. Yes. No, and that's most important here. 6, Section 8(6), that no child receive religious instruction objected to by the parent or guardian of such child, or be present when such instruction is given. And then the interpretation column, that's Section 3, says, assisted school means a school not being a government school receives financial assistance from the government. And this was 1887, long before we had independence. And when we had independence, this was what is in our Education Act. Just to keep the inclusivity. This is what we had in our Education Act of 1961. And I'll just read a section. Section 22 says, provisions relating to race, language, and religion. A person shall not be refused admission as a people to, or refuse attendance as a people at a school on account of the religious persuasion, nationality, race, or language of that people, or of either of the parent of that people. 2, a test or an inquiry shall not be made of or concerning the religious belief of the people or student prior to their admission to a school or college. 3, a person attending or desirous of attending a school as a people shall not, if parents object, being required to attend or to abstain from attending, whether in the institution or elsewhere, a Sunday school or a form of religious worship or observance or instruction in religious subjects. Why did I make reference to these two? Listen, I'm sorry to say, I sit today as the Minister for Interior, and yesterday we just finished a West African security meeting with all the ministers from West Africa, and then we were gracious to have the Minister for Interior for Netherlands sitting in. You may not believe me, our forebearers did so well by putting this to keep us together. Mm-hmm. They did so well. Mm-hmm. From colonial time through independence to today, to keep us together. That is why myself and Mercy, we can play, we can do any other thing without even asking what tribe is he. Mm. Without he being conscious about what religion I have. Or something, I heard some of the arguments Prof and my sister were making. Believe me, since this struggle started, we have never asked, when I say we, I'm talking about the Muslims community, that allow us to build a church, a mosque in a Catholic school. Never. Never. All we are saying is that...
So on that point, before you continue to develop it, the plaintiff in this suit, Shafiq,
yeah,
he says, he confirms what you have just said.
Yeah.
He says, we are not seeking to build mosques in mission schools. All we are asking for is to be allowed to pray and fast. Simple. So I ask him the question, in Wesley Girls, do they prohibit prayer by Muslims? He says, yes, I'm told.
And something, yes, let me say this. Oh. And I sit here, with the greatest of respect and with all my integrity. Wesley Girls ask girls to spy even the Muslim girls to make sure they don't pray. Yes.
I'm told they hide. They hide to pray.
They have to hide to pray. Look, we are playing with something that, I'm sorry to say, can degenerate our society.
Today,
but my worry is this:
Friday prayers,
no,
like people
no,
go to church on a Sunday.
No,
is there a daily prayer?
Yes, the daily prayer. In the case of Muslims, women alone do not even do Friday prayers. It's not even mandatory for a female to be there. That's why you see when you go to most of our Friday prayers, many of them you don't even see them in large numbers. You see the elderly because it's not mandatory. It's for the male. I get it. And even in the case of the male student, let's say, for lack of better, let's say Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. My second born attended Presbyterian Secondary School. They only have a place where they worship. It's not a mosque, but they give them a space where they can worship. In Achimota, they're giving them a place where they can worship, but they adhere to all the schools. And people say that, oh, you can't get up and go and pray at 1 and get up and go and pray at 3. That's not what they are seeking for. During break time, the prayer takes sometimes 5 minutes. Don't criminalize it. Because they are criminalizing on those campuses. But let me say this something. I can tell you, majority of the Christian schools are very accommodating. Believe me, if you ask me to rank them from, say, 1 to 100, I can say with authority that over 80% of the Christian faith-based schools are very accommodating. Now, since this struggle started, do you know what we are beginning to see as ministers? Or as a Minister for Interior, some of the Muslim schools are beginning to also do. I said, no. What you complained that was wrong somewhere, we will not allow you to also do it here. Because one, others are beginning to say that, look, you come here, this Ahmadiyya Muslim, I'm just saying that because I don't want to mention a specific school. This is a Muslim school, so you have to perform ablution and you have to be in the mosque. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. And it's mandatory for every Muslim who is healthy. So during Ramadan, we won't cook. We won't provide lunch. We only provide the dawn prayer. If you want, you can keep your dawn prayer food as a Christian and eat it in the afternoon. That is intolerance. Whether it's coming from the Muslim faith school or Christian faith school, we are saying that less accommodation. And then you see that, what do you call it, we did, the Memorial Sunday. We took our time. And I must admit, it was started by the previous government. And when I came, I said, look, this is a very good thing that we need to finish the race. So together with the Minister for Education, we tried to get this thing signed. You see the people who signed 13. almost all the heads, including the garrison education and the police education, they all signed that will be accommodative. And accommodative varies. But what is happening in some of the schools is that they virtually criminalize even you trying to say that you are of this faith or that faith. And
Susan was talking about order.
Yes.
So we are in the school, and the Muslim student has to move out how many times? Maybe 3-4 times during the day to go and pray. The school management may think that is not good for their education. It's an interruption. And it may not also help to properly monitor them. What do you say?
And I say that, look, anybody who tries to do that is an act of indiscipline because that's not how it's done. The dawn prayer is done, depending on the time, currently it's around 4:50, just before 5 o'clock. How does that disrupt school activity? The Zuhur, that's the first afternoon prayer, currently is around 12 to about 1 o'clock. And then the second one is around 3. You can put them, that's one of the beauty about our you can put them together during break and have both the 1 and the 3 done during break. And maximum, it won't take you 10 minutes. The fourth one is done currently around 6 o'clock. And then the last one, that one even lasts it starts from 7 up to around midnight. Meaning that you can go for prep, finish even prep, and come and observe it. So if anybody says that because I'm a Muslim and I'm in even TIMAS, TIMAS Secondary School, will not allow you to say that, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I'm going to go out to pray and come back. And then 3 o'clock, I'm going out to... No, even TIMAS will not. Islamic Secondary School in Kumasi, they will not allow you because they know you can do that during break time. But the problem we are having is that when people criminalize it and say that this is a Christian, so we don't want to see you worshiping any other thing apart from what we believe. We are saying that you are imposing your faith on this innocent. And look, and I repeat, with the greatest respect, that
you said over 80% of the faith-based Christian faith-based
very
they observe this.
And they observe it.
But
the only challenge we have is
about,
yes.
Is it really about we won't allow you to express your worship or manifest your religion, or it's about this time won't allow you to make this movement?
It is complete. For those who are, like Wesley Girls, and I keep repeating because we've been engaging for the past 5 years. Ask everybody. I had to go and meet the most reverend with a team of parliamentarians. And we made the case that, look, you remember all that? Mm-hmm. We've been engaging and saying that, look, can we be accommodative? Because it is, I'm sorry, I'm speaking now as a member of parliament. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling what we did. And it's like, you can't impose your will on us. But we are not imposing our will on you. We are saying that this is a country that all of us, belongs to all of us. And we all have to be accommodative to accommodate each other. But let me say this, very, very important. You don't have no idea what's going on in a sub-region. And I can bet you, many of them have their roots in the way they created silos in their communities. I don't want to mention specific countries.